All right. Hello, YouTube.
Which do you have the list?
We'll skip the
for
any
which progresses
spam
are with which,
because we're getting right into this. Welcome to
Skull
Eden
and Morph are
Lost.
together. Then it's going to be Shan and Howl. Then it's going to be.
You guys will hear Discord
is it
go
Happy
off
and Norset?
as we go
Yes.
along here.
Okay.
Happy? Whomst?
So does Braggy not to get to bunk with anybody?
Turn this down a little.
So who does Norset bunk with? I don't know a professor named Happy.
All right, I'll wait until people sound like they're a little.
Very tall blue guy.
Anyway.
Guy. You'll see him.
Hi. This is Paz. Paz is the My God, my hands are fucking huge. I just. Like, I don't know compared to other people how big these are, but like these are some giant ass hands. We might want to scale it down just a little bit, Oracle. But I mean, I did ask for him to be big.
Hey, Lulu.
We'll see.
Braggy
We'll
have
see.
any bunk buddies?
No, Oracle. Hold on. Let me see how I feel about it, and then we'll talk about it. Everyone say hello to Oracle. They made the model, so thank them for their good work. Also, hey,
Hey Merlin, where did you go in math?
There's no tooth.
We're supposed to tag along together.
Also, I'm checking for you,
No,
Todd.
there's no twofers. No toggle. Also, these don't. Okay, there. Well, the. Oh, okay, that's okay. That's just that. I like how the Happy is just a little bit smirky. I'll be there for the next session. Okay, cool. I think we can make the squint a little bit more squinty as well. Shock is good. Angry is good. You'll hear Paz's voice in a little bit. What you need to know, though, is Paz is
All right,
old.
Savage, you should be with Happy right now.
Paz has been at this academy for upwards of 40 years. He's been around for longer than the current headmaster. I'm glad you did, Oracle. It's glad you had fun with
still
it, too.
confused about where your starting location is, meet me at the fountain in town, and I can direct you where to go.
Yeah, because I lost track of Merlin, so I don't know where to go.
Dude, I love the ears. The ears are great. I didn't expect them to be this floppy, and I'm totally good with them being this floppy.
Soldiers or people of corporal or commanders go.
Just like you, they're older than
You'll be
me.
on patrol around town, so you can be pretty much anywhere around the town.
All right.
Hey, Oracle, you know what would be kind of fun?
Yeah, if you want meet up at the
If I can get a
fountain,
toggle
if you
with
don't know where to go, so guys,
you know how like they have
Dusk,
like the
for
giant
military, you
like
guys can talk to each other and decide if
long
you wanna,
ear
like, go
cleaning
to any sort of
like
patrol certain spots.
like almost like Q-tips, right? But like they're super long, like a stick with a little cotton swab on the end, so I can just walk around and like pretend to be cleaning out my giant ass ears. Yeah, that one. I think that'd be kind of fun. All it would mean is I just need something like in my hand like this, right? Now, as for why their name is Paz, don't look too much into it. Definitely don't read it backwards.
If my wardens want to meet me by the fountain, I can direct you to what building you can use.
And you guys will potentially at some point see why that's their name. The race is Hobgoblin, as I think I said. So they're definitely going to be I think there's another Goblin in town. But they're a little bit, they're definitely a little bit smaller. And just know that this is so as for the setting, for people who don't know, think Mortal Engines in terms of like the city setup. Cities are on wheels. They have to move around because there's giant beasts that want to eat it. This is, I think, like 200, I forget, it's either 200 or 400 years after like a big calamity happened and more or less destroyed the world. A lot of old technology was lost.
Spirit, you
and
ran right past us.
This guy is completely obsessed with trying to recover stuff from before. And so that's his entire deal. He's not really, he's more a staff instead of professor. They're on legs. Yeah. I mean, sorry, I meant they're mobile. I didn't necessarily mean wheels. What? My music just came out? So yeah,
for all those who are military,
this guy
while you were here,
used to
your
be
commanding officer will be
a
Sculla.
warden a long time
So
ago.
Sculla comes by to give you orders.
But he,
He's a big man with a
retired
bronze
and
arm.
is now this. Not really archaeology.
Are
He's
we starting
more
this, by the way?
like he doesn't
Not quite
like
yet.
to go
We're just
dig
getting
out
ready
the
to feed
stuff.
still.
It's more like if people. So essentially, what it is you have your wardens that go out and do missions, right? If they find things and they have no idea what it is because it's old world tech,
Lulu, I don't remember if it was
that's where
said
this guy steps in.
exactly how long has it been since the Runewald arc?
Roughly 9 months.
Understood.
Yes.
Have we started yet, or are we still setting up?
We are just getting the last people set up now, and we're about to start, yes.
Okay. So this episode 0, I mentioned it a little bit last night, but it's going to be a little bit shorter,
Right,
most likely.
Last check, is there anyone else
More
who doesn't know
just
where they need to be or
getting
have
people
any
situated
questions
into
before we give the call
positions.
for RP start?
I will be
Is it
arriving late, but I will be there.
I said someone gonna take user stuff. Yeah, but that, yes. And
that was
we're a
the
person who's
algorithm.
gonna research stuff with actually
I was gonna
knowledge of
ask
how to
if
research
Braggy
said stuff.
Had anyone he was bunking with,
This guy's not
or
a
am I
fake.
good for this? Just
How do I
stay
do
in
it?
this alone room.
But you're good to be solo right now because we're missing one teacher.
For any of you who are showing up late, we'll probably be in one of the all-call admins. Just hop up, let us know that you're coming, and we'll direct you to where you should be coming from if you do not already know.
Once RP starts, if you need an admin, you can at any time pop up and ask.
So I'm going. Most of the Hobgoblin lore I'm going off of comes from Pathfinders. They are known to have like larger hands. That's one of their features. Really strong grip. So that's why this guy was a fighter for a long time, because he's got some big old grippers. Some big old thingies that can do some damage. Can hold more things with it. Well, it's not just that, but like, think of it. It's almost like think of it like a crocodile jaw, right? This shit will crush things. Hey, Vivinus. Yeah. So they're known for like their hands specifically being super strong. And so their hands are known for being super
Alright.
strong and
We'll be starting
kind of
roleplay
freakishly large. Like people look at them and go like, wow,
in
that
2
looks
minutes.
off.
So get to your places 2 minutes before roleplay start.
Should NPCs pop into downstairs?
You are welcome to stay in the session chats for your
Pop out, look at them up. Yeah.
areas. So if APCs want to join APC, they can. NPCs can join the NPC session chat. And
Poggers.
keepers to theirs. That way you're not all crowded. Just be sure not to overspeak in the session chats.
I thought I turned off. World object settings. Turn that off. There we go. All right, so we'll see what happens. You know what? I'm just gonna
All right. RP start in 3, 2, 1. Cards are up. Have fun.
All right. We're off to a great start. We're off to a fan-fucking-tastic start. Okay, all right. Can't turn this back, just in case. Oh my fucking god! All right, I gotta calm down. All right. Okay. Well, actually, this is so. So just so you guys know, this isn't the actual city we'll be in. For the first few months, I think of the RVRP will be here. This is like their training center area. So I actually have an idea of how to make this a thing. Because this isn't their equipment, right? Like, this is just like what came with this place that they rented out. And actually, what I'm going to do is for now, I'm going to turn on... I'm going to keep the nameplates on for a little bit as I get used to people's names. So, it'll be a little bit clusterfucked at the moment.
definitely have a much better stock than I do. Should be fine though.
I don't know what I'm really supposed to do at the moment, actually. You'll see. You'll have the voice reveal soon. I don't remember if this was the cafeteria. I think this was the cafeteria. How is there nobody here? So this map is repurposed from is it Trails of Cold Steel? The It's the game that is jokingly what Ascension is ripped off from. And but by the way, for those of you guys that don't know, this RP was started by Lulu, aka Black Knight, aka Stark. And there's a bunch of other AA members on him. Including Savage. Savage is a part of this. Group up person still played a bunch of games. Yep.
Merry synthetic morning to you.
Good morning.
How do you fare?
Well, my fingers appear to be too large for the keyboards.
Oh, I should be able to make a device for that. I mean, theoretically, you could get like a sort of prosthetic with a shortened limb. I don't know how to describe it in understandable words, but basically you would have, hands put into a glove, which have basically a smaller set of spitter in, like smaller fingers that will just,
Klink, are you overcompensating things again?
Overcompensating? I'm just trying to
Overcomplicating things.
I mean, do you need to do a lot of typing? Because if I can optimize you, then we can optimize everyone.
Don't worry about it. Just go about your day.
Okay, sure. Breakfast.
The cafeteria seemed to be mostly empty, but there were sandwiches out.
That'll work. Thank you.
Of course.
Oh. Merry synthetic afternoon.
Yes. Oh my.
There you go. I was afraid when I started doing that voice, when I started thinking about what voice to do, that I wasn't going to be able to do that for an extended period of time, like hours at a time. Turns out I was wrong. I practiced it for a while and was like, yep, no strain whatsoever, so we're good. Do I not have, because they didn't have the thing in there. But they should have. Yeah, I was afraid of that was going to be a bit too straining as well. But not so much. Which is good. Nope, that's just the pool. I'm not trying to go to the pool. I may be a little lost. I think I gotta go back in here. I think this is the main building.
I can hope so.
It's always scary for the first couple of years, but you'll get into the groove of it, I'm sure.
Right.
We can meet around to where your facilities are.
Yes, sir.
Come along.
Did you have to bring us to such a maze?
It's not that much of a maze, Paz. You're a smart fellow.
Yes.
If you want to talk about mazes,
You forgot to
talk
bring
about
my
the Institute building back at
keyboard,
Greenwald.
by the way.
Yes, what's
These
that,
dang
You can
things.
procure one for the terminal room.
No,
Attempt of like
dang
confusing
fingers
the
are
enemy?
too
I'm
big for the
thinking
ones
that's
here.
why it was like that, right? Really?
Possibly.
One back at the
It's been like
academy
that
is
longer than I've been
custom
in that
fit.
city.
Hmm.
One of the oldest
If
buildings
it's that
there.
much of a hindrance, I'm
But
sure you
one of
can
the
get
most
Klink to help you out.
Continually renovated to keep it up.
They
to
offered to
date with
build me a
newer
glove with
technologies and whatnot.
individual finger extensions.
Even Busk
You know,
can't get the doors
they
working.
go a little overboard
And
on
yet
things.
nobody seems willing to try to
Him
make it
go
a
overboard?
actually navigatable
Imagine my
layout.
surprise.
Yes.
Well,
They're
if it
afraid
is
of what
I'll
they'll
deal with it
find.
for now.
Huh?
Very well.
They're afraid of the level of effort that they would find themselves.
Have you had a chance
signing
to
up
make
for if they were
introductions?
To actually
I
dig
do
into
not
the
believe so.
architectural layout of that building.
I don't think it would be that hard, but teach their own, I suppose.
It's one of those things where it's a nice to have, but not necessary. People just learn to deal with it.
One head researcher to another. This is our head of R&D.
Historical researchers. Paz.
Alexei. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Of course. And, you are?
Oh, Simon.
Yeah, speak
From
up,
Roomwald.
Sonny. I cannot hear that well these days.
Simon from Runewald. I'm
Yeah.
transferring soon.
Very good. More of your... Yes. Good researchers, I mean.
Oh, yes! There's a bit of a trend I've noticed. All the researchers have white hair.
Onward to the mechanics.
The profession rapidly ages people.
That's not the only thing that rapidly ages.
Why can I not see info?
Coffee and everything should be good. Yeah. Morning.
Good morning.
Hi, buddy. Are you having a good day? Yeah.
Good morning.
You sure?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Of course you are. Do you want a pet? I don't have any treats today, though.
My recommendation for today's task would be mostly to assess everything around the campus. And so, any sections or areas you're designated, make sure to give them a second look. If anything comes up, we need to speak with the headmaster.
You are always so uptight.
Oh, coming next week.
Let loose a little bit, Sonny.
Unfortunately, tomorrow our most difficult duty starts.
Yes.
The next
Well,
generation is quite important. Especially
it's always
have a lot
important.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
I've been here for the better part of 40 years. I've heard important over and over again.
I forget sometimes that you've been here quite so long.
Yes.
Did you need anything from me?
I seem to go unnoticed at times in my research at times.
Okay, there should
Yes, go ahead. Do your checks, I won't bother you.
Everything's alright. Your eye was right.
And that's good, Okay, thank you for double checking.
Hello.
Greetings.
Greetings. I think I'm gonna go pick up a coffee. And then I'll...
Yeah, go ahead. And there were sandwiches in the cafeteria as well.
Ooh, did you want a coffee?
Oh, I'm quite all right for now.
Well, I'm going to town to get my coffee. You get
No.
really good coffee.
Go ahead. I may join you there later.
You
For
sure?
now, I should, make sure the checks are done.
If they come by, all my paperwork's on the desk. It's got all the inventory checks and everything too. So
Yes, of course.
I'm gonna bring you a coffee.
Okay, why can I not see names? I thought name visibility was all you needed. Like, that should have had it on there. What am I missing? Okay, I gotta do status shit. Okay, there we go. All right, we're good. All right, should be better. Nope, still not showing. Or do they just not have one? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not sure how to put it. I don't want to be rude. I just don't want dirt everywhere.
Of course.
A fine garden.
Nah, because if they had one listed, I should have seen it when I opened the menu. I'm pretty sure. Because, yeah, I should have just seen it. It should be... I don't care about group banners. Status shown is what it should be, right? Nameplates are shown. Status shown. I don't know what's going on. Next generation will be... Yes. Yeah, so the actual Warden candidates will join us next week. Oh, okay. I see it. It's a... Wait. Oh, I just have to be standing super close to them. What the fuck? That is really annoying. Is there distance? Visibility? Is there a setting for that? I don't think there's a setting for that. Okay, no, that's annoying.
Well, Hayden, is it meet your approval?
Spacious enough for the list we have. Should be good for now. Mostly practical, I can see it. Arts management definitely a little bit smaller than regular. Ooh, handle.
I've heard some wonderful things about the training center.
With what technology has given us, definitely it's more easier on them. Before they didn't even have these benefits.
Now just think of what it was like before the calamity. What could we achieve with that? A little food for thought.
Yeah.
Many thoughts on such things.
Keep forgetting there's no way in there.
I must remind myself which way to go in this maze.
It is understandable. This is not our normal place of work.
When you get to be my age, you'll start forgetting things too.
Wait, can you actually? Okay, so you can get around from the side. Hold on. So you can, if you get down to the garden, you can come out front. Right. Right. You go all the way down, you can get over here as well. You don't need to go back in. So, in terms of this guy's position, we're not technically a professor. We're technically staff. We are kind of on the same level as a professor in terms of the pecking order, but we just don't actually teach any classes. Pat Catterson.
I wonder if that boat's gonna find their friend again.
Yeah, I hope they're not missing or anything.
I mean,
Welcome, Bruggy.
Right here, sleeping accommodation.
Good morning to you as well.
For all wardens within the city. Ah, finally off for your headache, are you?
Well, thankfully I bring my own tools. Can never trust people to get the right sizes.
I mean, after a while, I feel like you can just cut it down to size, no?
No student interactions. It really is going to depend on the students and their
Okay. So, what you got?
dispositions of what they're interested in.
Yes? Does the dog walking around bother you?
Hopefully, we have a few people who are interested in like old world tech.
That would be amazing.
Does it bother you, Carrison?
No.
Do you bounce and shiver
No,
in your
what?
armor plates every time that poop goes wrong? Yes, too.
I'm just saying. You could. Hold on.
But we might. It will most likely be a lot more low key than AA in terms of what we do, and there's a lot more likelihood of doing like NPC stuff during like missions and stuff like that. Unity and Lost, what is a basic lore? So essentially, some hundreds of years ago, the world was nearly destroyed. Nobody really knows why. A lot of old tech was lost. The remains are now in moving cities that are powered by an engine that processes basically magic and deposits essentially nuclear waste. And the cities kind of have to keep moving because there are giant monsters out in the open whose sole purpose or sole want in life is to devour magic. The cities themselves are not really able to be self-sustaining, so trade between cities are a big thing. But because cities are moving, you have to like send a convoy to go from one city to another, and those convoys are under a lot of danger because of said monsters out in the field. So wardens are basically people who are tasked with various activities, but a large part of it is escorts of merchants and whatnot. But sometimes it's also just like go and take care of like big monsters that have been spotted and could threaten. Because basically monsters evolve from being small to gigantic if left unchecked. And they have been known to destroy full cities. And the ability to create the engines which powered these cities is lost. Nobody knows how to make them. So every city that's lost is basically permanent fuckery. Because you not only lose... what? Go fuck yourself, Kiss. You not only lose population, but you lose resources. Resourcing possibilities. The cities are various in size, so.
Aside from that, they are doing just fine.
The other instructors down in the dormitory.
Is that a question?
Yes, are they down in the dormitory? Have you been in there?
I have not been into the dormitory. I did see Hayden and one other walking around in town. And there was our medical chief who went to go get coffee.
Pardon?
Very well.
That's about all I've
Let's
seen,
start
other
gathering.
than Klink here.
Going to start gathering for meeting.
I just didn't want to interrupt your conversation.
If you want to get
No, it's
into the chamber hall on the right side, I'll start gathering people up for meeting before.
Of course.
Hello, my esteemed individuals. How are we all feeling today?
I'll leave this to
Fantastic,
you.
you.
Just
I'm
about
doing
the same as when you
fantastic.
first spoke to me in the train station.
I'm still trying to get my sales, my good sir. I have to start somewhere.
Oh, what you selling today?
I am selling scrap metal, and also for a nice and lovely price, I can go out and avail you new items from places across town and towns beyond. And if I don't get it within a week, you get your full money back guaranteed. How's that for a good deal?
That is a pretty good deal. I'll have to make some a list first.
Oh, I love lists, man. That's such a.
Wait, you like lists too? They're so useful.
I do. I have lists all the time because I need to.
Oh my gosh, notes are so
Check it out. I've gotten
organized.
5 deals today
at that
with their names,
bullet
their
point.
addresses, what they want, where it's going for, how much it costs.
That's amazing! Oh no! They're
Oh,
leaving me.
go. I'll see you later. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Hello!
Ones are like really
What in general? I didn't expect you to arrive.
I didn't either until
Headmaster.
Hello. My outfit?
You too.
Do you have a problem with my garb?
No, I suppose.
Okay, I didn't know if he was gonna go out
your
or if he was gonna stand
choice.
at the door. I didn't know if he made the decision to go out yet or not.
A certain degree of casualness.
Hello, young
Okay,
Alice.
awesome.
Good to see you still
Shit, and,
alive.
you get in trouble for hearing shit you probably
Good to see you as well.
And good morning, Braggy.
Headmaster.
Going to be calling the other
in the building, you'll be hearing plenty of things.
instructors for a meeting
I'm mixed up
in
with
the
pages.
meeting hall down here.
Huh?
Can I
Gonna
attend?
use
I'd
the
love to
intercom.
see how you do things nowadays. It's been so long.
You sure?
Yes, Lazarus, you may attend.
As to which part?
Are you planning to set
Now
it up
I'm
now?
more excited.
I will call them now.
You said I'd be fine, and then I asked if you're sure, and then you're not sure. How could you?
Believe that?
You don't have faith in me?
Yes, it's fine.
I'm hurt.
Yes, you got lucky.
I take
I take the way.
Oh, we go way back, don't we? I'm sure.
A little overwhelmed, are you, Sonny?
A little bit.
Kept up with him?
I heard,
Ah,
I
well.
heard Lindell was smaller than Runewald, but
To be honest, I haven't been able to
Still-
fully due to work, but
Take a seat somewhere. I'm sure there's a bench around.
every couple months.
You can enjoy the library as well if you need.
At least Reinhold, with yet another inundation of the council trying to convince
Big
me
old
that
hat.
my position would be far more suitable to being in your city than mine. It's getting harder and harder to rebuff them.
That's the next one. This is my office. By the way.
Fair enough.
It does look nice, though.
Certain
is
perks
kind
are
of
to
the
be
point.
afforded.
All instructors will receive a notification to report to the school building for a meeting.
There it is. Makes sense.
By the way,
So
you do
official.
not need to attend to me while I'm here if you wish to get yourself acclimated with those you're going to be working with going forward.
Right.
If I ever need to reach out to you, I
You'll
can
have
always
like
send you a
trials
letter.
here. Someone walks up down the middle and just pleads their case.
See
You know.
the town. There are a number of good folk there who do
Most
trade with us.
likely.
Oh my.
We'll probably find good company.
Does something especially egregious.
In fact, I recommend it since you'll be the one staying here and I won't be. In fact, I imagine I'll be heading out by the end of the day.
Shouldn't he still be here for the meeting, though?
Well, he's going to be working under you, so I'll allow you to make that call.
Yeah, come on in, it's alright.
Oh, okay.
I'm simply saying he does not need to feel obligated to be in my company while I am here, if he does not wish to be.
I wonder what happened to Savage.
Yep, that makes sense.
Am I allowed to sit in one of the official chairs?
If there's an open spot. And it's
While we wait
headmaster's
for all
call.
my instructors to arrive, one general.
Okay.
It goes for you as well, Ares. Get out of my chairs.
Understood.
Actually, Ares, new tasking. Go find my instructors.
Understood.
You heard him.
So, Alexei, was it?
Still in town.
Yes.
What brings you to this, fine academy?
A personal favor to the dear principal over there, which has already been paid.
He's also my buddy.
Alexei.
Yes, and
Where
also
have I heard
Klink's
that name
buddy.
before? Wait a minute. You were in the report for that place you all went underground. Yes?
Yes. The one and
Ah,
the same.
the one you didn't take me to, even though you know I love my old stuff.
I didn't have a choice on the matter.
Ah. I forget, Wilders. Why was it I sent on that anyway?
Because you were working on the artifact we received last time at the moment.
Ah, oh my. So
And
much to do.
in Klink's defense, as well as anyone else in question, they arrived there with no knowledge that such a place even existed.
Ah, you
So
should
it is
always
not as which
expect...
it was withheld.
guess
I
you
shall
could've
be
done
sure to
what
keep that
Norsa
in
did and
mind.
just stowed away.
You and I
So
will
that's
have
how
to
he
have
showed up there.
conversations about what you saw down there and that thing you talked to.
I imagine I'll be having a number of those conversations with the entirety of the WCA. I imagine
Excellent.
anything that is found in the future will be closely corresponded to between you
Hmm.
all.
Don't forget about old paths.
I will be sure not
Definitely
to.
don't forget about Paz. He needs the information. He is our history expert, after all.
Then I'll have to be sure to forward you the interactions that I have had with that place in the last 9 months. A number of
good.
interesting things have come about it, but it's neither here nor there. At least not for the sake of this meeting. That could be an entire day's worth of conversation in itself.
Ah, we will get settled in first. There is much time yet.
Unfortunately, unless I am desperately needed beyond this day, I imagine I will be making my way back to Runewald proper, now that I have settled my business over in Reinhold. Anything to get away from the, shall I say, begging of the council to try to get me to reassign myself.
Well, then I will
I can
bring
only
you...
imagine that begging increasing greatly, considering the new councilman.
Yes, so I've noticed.
Are they good? Do you like them? Or are they sort of a troublemaker?
I haven't really had much interaction with them beyond the usual. I mean, you can easily imagine with the work that comes out of the Institute as well as just possessing a title that they'd be eager to have those people on their payroll instead of another city's.
That's the part of me. Static usually keeps me.
Other appendages.
They're not feeling well today, so
They were quite surprised.
Apologies. I will try to see.
Oh, not saying it's a bad thing at all.
You're entirely way too dusty.
And so the crew's all here. Well, most of them.
Where's Norset? Is he not around?
I'd seen him earlier. By the door.
He was right outside the door.
Should I go get him? Wait, no, I'll probably get lost.
No.
I think Ares has it.
Either wait for Ares or have you take notes.
Gotcha. I can do that.
I could drop them off at his bedside table, considering we're bunking.
I know, right? The urge to just point and go, what are those?
There are a number of fresh faces in this room. Some that my instructors likely don't know very well. To one end, we have Alexei, the head researcher from Runewald, as well as the Maxim Agreement's new titled Warden, the Reaper of the Timeways. To the other, we have Reinhold's own up-and-coming, the Warden General, Lazarus.
Hello.
One I intended to be here, the other not so much, but they're here nonetheless. This meeting is to discuss the arrival of our warden candidates tomorrow, as well as any final preparations that need to be done for them. Alexei has just finished helping with the trials. The final pieces of the behavioral pattern algorithm that was applied to our trial mechanisms has been fixed. There will no longer be any incidents of danger for our students, but it will be sufficiently challenging to prove that they will be capable of being warden candidates. Going around the room, I will need to make sure we have final checks. Paz, do you have all of your equipment?
Everything is accounted for except my properly sized keyboard, but I will make do.
It will have to do. Reginald? All of your stocks in good supply?
Indeed. Medical... well, everything is well stocked.
Very good. Armaments and armory prepared, Hayden?
All clear and ready.
All the supplies for
stocked and
allocation?
organized.
As always. Security prepped?
Of course.
Very good. All the classrooms up to order for you as well, Dusk?
All are in order, textbooks and the like.
And we have our catalog of bestiaries prepared, Raggy?
Yes. Along with all the tools meant to simulate them.
Very good. And Soliloquy, you have all of your supplies for the mechanics bay, correct? Everything is ready for the lessons. Very good. As I was saying to Alexei, this next group of candidates will be unlike any we've had before. We'll be giving them harder challenges. New challenges. They'll be the first to test the trials that we have prepared. They'll be the first to apply themselves in the way we intend to change our program going forward. It is clear over the last 8 months that Eden has changed and will keep changing. News from Moonwald is an example of that. Which means we need to adapt. And we need to make sure that the next candidates that follow us, the next wardens who follow us, are prepared to repair the world that we are losing. Am I clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Crystal.
Yes, sir. Good. The wardens are set to arrive at dawn tomorrow. If there's any last preparations you need, do it now. There are requisition slips at the back of the room. If there are supplies that you're required, put it on my desk before the evening is out. Are there any other concerns that need to be brought up before we are dismissed?
Has there been any news about anything delaying the trains?
The migration path has been cleared, and one of the troops heading up towards Reinhold for training recently cleared the path between here and Lindell and Reinhold. The students should be fairly safe in the caravan they are taking, though I imagine quite cramped, as there was only 2 caravans able to make the transit. So they'll be pretty stuffed together.
As long as they make it.
It'll be a good experience for them to feel what the harshness of the waste can be like sometimes. Hot and horrid. Anything else?
Will there be any intent to test the updates to the training program before they are sent in there? Just to
That is
make
my
sure that the
intent.
updates have been applied properly and that they are easy enough to understand so that they aren't sent on the advanced track right away.
I will likely be sending, if Ares is going to be around, as well as our esteemed Warden General, I might make use of them, so they are not sitting around Lindell, twirling their fingers.
You wanted this.
No, I wanted to see the new candidates. They look so promising, I've heard.
Well, you'll be seeing the newest
We've been able to
product
see the
campus
names here.
as you test
Well,
our
if it's going to
programs.
be them testing it, perhaps I should make a course for them.
It is alright. I'll make sure it's adjusted properly. Klink, make sure it's set for Class Bs.
Yes, sir.
They should have fun. Right. If there's no other concerns, you're all free for the rest of the day. Consider this your last day of vacation before the warden candidates arrive. Dismissed.
Thank you, sir. Oh. Honestly, I'm so happy that we're getting out of vacation. Just get so, cooped up.
I know there are a good number of new.
Don't know what to do with my time. Well, I mean, I do, but I also really don't. I like it when I have a nice, rigorous schedule.
Structured. Like a good structure to my day.
Like a small dash of spontaneity is good every once in a while. Like, maybe I want to have a crepe in the morning instead of a pancake. But usually the same would be best.
Simple, but fair.
Agreed. Oh, I have been hearing about your wonderful workshop. Do you have got set up.
The eventual goal
How's everything going?
Subjugations.
Really good. I organized and then reorganized just to make sure that everything was actually in its proper locations. I have all of the screws with. Well, okay. So, no, you'll actually understand this, so I can just say it in its proper terms. So I have AB screws all the way down to the double point CCs, with 100 abundance exactly organized, with color coordination too.
Oh. I'm very excited for you.
Oh, it's great! I can't wait to share the space with you and show you in proper.
Indeed, I look forward to it. I do have a couple errands about town. Shall we, make a time for it?
Sure, sounds fun.
You truly
Oh,
are.
closer to that. Huh?
I said you truly are, holding up to your reputation, Professor.
What is my reputation anyway?
No. Being organized.
Oh,
Being
well, it sort of comes
meticulous.
with the territory. Autism and all. Autism, ADHD,
yes.
hyper-focus, it just kind of happens.
Did you require anything? Whether it be tea to medicinal care? Do not feel afraid to hop in.
Oh, thank you for the invitation. That actually helps. I get kind of stuck up on the social anxiety bit, so I kind of try not to. I would if things got really bad, but it's. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway.
And hello.
Margaret? Oh, yes, hello.
Hello.
How's your research going?
Stumped, mostly. We've been gone for so long, there hasn't been new samples of any sort for a while.
Oh, that's awful.
Yes. It is already rare to find things from the old world, but, well, there's only so much you can do with little scraps.
Indeed. Should you come upon, or, well, the university come upon any sort of medicinal artifacts, should it be flowers or anything, let me know. I would like to help out any way I can with your research.
Sure. Most of the things that we find are inactive, as you know. It is difficult to find anything functioning, which is why your discovery was, well, revolutionary almost.
It was crazy! I
And
wish
I
you were
still
there!
haven't gotten to see it. I must speak to that Alexei. I have heard that they had conversations with some entity. Do you understand?
Yes, I was there when they did it!
Ah, marvelous.
They're actually very polite,
Well.
super intelligent, and just... Look, I know that everyone really likes to talk about the apocalypse as though it's forever, but I don't. Well, it sort of is over, but also not over. But basically, what that event proved is that we won't have to survive in the near future. Maybe not in your and I lifetime, but for a couple generations, maybe. We can get back to just living. That's the best news I've heard ever. And I just, it's really hard to get upset about anything with that kind of news, you know?
Well,
Indeed. It is truly what we are striving for.
optimism
A better
has its
world than it was
places.
before.
But we must be careful. There is very little we understand about the old things.
True, but there's a difference between no answer and being given a very concrete, maybe with a plan, from a super intelligent, sapient creature from the past, made and brimming from old magic. sort of hits a little bit different, you know? Just a bit.
It is
I mean,
quite
the old ones,
spectacular,
they
I
had
will
a plan.
agree.
They had a plan to restore the worlds, and it's... We have a plan now!
There you have it.
I like them. I like your optimism.
Yes, they have always
Okay,
been
let's try and
quite
tape things down.
exuberant.
Go ahead. I do try and instill a realism in my students. Or at least I'm going to. But
That's
we
good.
need people like you as well. We balance each other out.
I agree. Yes, exactly. Norset and I have a similar sort of thing going on. The what they describe as a realist, very not depressing person. And
Oh, good.
I am on the other end.
They also seem to have
I will
a
work with you.
habit for throwing machinery against walls.
Wait, him or me?
Norset.
Oh, really?
Well, he doesn't throw machinery at wall, just cores sometimes. Apparently, that's the proper technique. I mean, I'm used to it now, but it's always very shocking for everyone else, and then I have to explain to them. And well, if he doesn't warn me, I hear like a very loud sound without any context. And you never want to hear a loud bang that you don't recognize in the workshop. It's
Indeed.
Yes, I know. It sounds alarming, right? But it's actually very apparently precise. He refuses to teach me. I think it's for job security, but you know.
Well, should anyone get hurt, just call and I'll come running.
Good to
Get
know.
you back on your feet. Well, as much as I could stand here and talk to you all day, truly, my colleagues are very, very intriguing individuals. I do need to go about town.
By all
I
means.
have a very,
yes.
very important medicinal ingredient. I need more types of tea and biscuit dunkers for my office hours.
Oh, that is very important. Self-care.
Supposedly
Well,
there's a
it's a way to
very
entice
good
the
place
students.
that has coffee in town. Perhaps they can help you. I have no idea where this place is.
Wait, they actually have coffee beans in stock again?
That's what I heard from
Yes.
somebody else.
There's a
Oh, I can get my
tavern and a
focus juice.
bakery and a tailor shop. We were in town when we were called up.
Oh gosh, I have to take a skip and a trip down there.
Well, that's where I'm heading, if you would like to accompany me. Otherwise, if you're busy, no
Happily.
worries.
Oh no, I'm apparently it's my final day of vacation, so I can do that, I guess.
Wonderful.
Well, I don't have much else to do, so I will tag along if you do not mind an old man's company.
Oh, you look great. I don't think you're a day over. You look great. Let's go.
Nobody ever guesses the age of a hobgoblin.
Well, it's sort of
I do
true,
hear it
too,
can
isn't it?
sometimes
For
be bad
anyone
manners.
I thought I
Mhm.
was part of some of the best.
to guess someone's
That
age,
was-
isn't that a bad social move,
Oh.
right? You're not supposed to do that normally, right?
I believe the context changes.
I was over the top.
And also if the person is sensitive about that sort of thing.
Moving here and
I
throwing
see.
myself into the fold proved to me
My understanding of the topic is that you do not guess a lady's age.
Oh, okay.
They tend to get
I've heard they can get quite cross.
a little bit more upset if you go over, of course.
Alas, I do not have much experience. Been working.
Very synthetic morning.
Who has time for a relationship?
Good morning.
Oh, good day.
Again.
Again. I had to go get the second cup of coffee.
Yeah.
They are the one that
One
told
of
me about
yours?
the coffee. No. There are few who have interest in studying old things like I do. I don't blame them.
Love to find I have this whole theory on mana-infused plants. The medicinal purposes. Should we be able to find any?
There is infused plants in the other place.
Oh.
I'd love to get my hands on some.
Can't talk about it now, but yes.
Right. Lock and key and all.
The time of day is now daytime.
I guess that's what we're supposed to be on. Now we're on that.
I don't know about you. I just felt like saluting randomly.
Yes. I mean, well, it's sort of habit. Very
I had
synthetic
to
morning.
Scratch the back of my ears, you
Indeed.
know.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a bit of a new professor here. Happy synthetic morning.
Oh, with the regulated weather cycles.
Oh, right. I tend to forget that that's not natural.
Well, that's the goal. That means
That
that
is
the
the
engineers
point.
did a very good job.
Yes.
Very good job.
Now, if they only would schedule less rain.
But no, we have the exact sort of rainfall for the kinds of seeds that we use. Look, it's better this than having to deal with another corn blight.
Coming for.
Pardon.
There's a littler one.
I'm terribly sorry. My long.
Oh no, it's all right.
I have long legs.
I understand.
I am looking for.
I mean, I know you're taller than me.
Hopefully without threat of.
There it is. The vaunted bakery.
City in order to do it. Can certainly pass that up.
Hello again, Alexei. Hello again, new recruit.
Hello.
You liking the city so far?
Yes. It's closer to back home than Runewald is. A little bit bigger, though.
Actually,
Closer
That's a
than
good
like
question.
physically or? Oh, carry on.
well, I was going to ask the same thing. I don't believe you'd ever really talked much about your home life while you were there working at the institute. What city were you from originally?
It was just a small farming town in one of the smaller
Hello again,
domes.
Mr. Klink.
Oh, greetings. Also, you're on your tippy routes right now. There you are. Actually, a little bit lower, a little lower.
Well, Simon,
Hello.
the question was asked.
Just a baby bit. Perfection.
We restocked the bookstore. If you want to check that out later, I know you like those.
Is there new things?
Yes.
Comics?
Yes, and fiction.
Anyway, so right, food. I haven't eaten yet.
If I didn't know any better, I would have said that someone put a rare core in front of you that said never been discovered before. Just now.
I like what I like.
Not much is plain. Enthusiasm is more than welcomed.
You read, Alexei. I mean, beyond, like, the necessary stuff.
Yes, on occasion, when I have the privacy to be able to do so. And I'm not having somebody tugging at my collar trying to get yet another meeting.
Oh, I understand. I understand. It's hard for me too.
There was a reason why I had originally tried to leave the warden life behind me when I took on my job at the Institute. It was a matter of necessity that I picked it back up.
Do you need an auto reader? I mean, it's originally technically was made for people who are blind, so that they could keep up with classes. Or it basically just reads text automatically, so you can just listen while you're doing whatever, and it's basically how I get through most of the content, outside of comics anyway, because you have to actually look at the pictures.
I might have to consider that.
Alright, let me know if you want one.
I'll have to. I'll likely take you up on that offer.
You can actually just take mine before you head back home. I can make another one lickety split. Oh yes,
Okay.
it'll be fine. I'll be
All right,
up to
it's
my
not-
ears
you're
in
not-
work anyway. It'll be all right.
Yes. If anything, me being out here is me not being up to my neck because I was able to use the request as an excuse to be able to reschedule a number of things so that my schedule was a bit free.
That is fair.
Hard for them to argue against a official request for assistance from the WCA.
Yeah, don't worry.
Why is it that when you itch one part of your body, like all of a sudden you have that scratch everywhere?
Council business or this or that or anything like that. It's very.
Scratch your face and suddenly you can
assert
scratch
a
your
different
leg and scratch your
priorities in
arm.
the face of such a matter. Then it's just one council butting heads with another. And well, when one of the
Then you start thinking about it and
councils
you're
is
suddenly just
someone
itchy
that you
everywhere.
are a chair upon. Well, you have one person on your own side speaking for why it's important, and they can't exactly have a unified front.
Already crossed something off my
It's
list.
easier for them to just say yes.
Oh, what
and
is
get
it?
over
3 dozen tea dunkers, or cookies as they're called, shall be arriving to the university for my office hours with the students.
Convince them. Old girl
Congratulations.
understands it as much as anyone else.
Indeed. There's nothing quite like having a good conversation with some tea and a biscuit in your hand.
I know I kind of arrived on like one of the worst days, right? But it's
They've been
What did I
jamming
miss?
for a while.
You certainly
Hmm.
had a unintentionally
Similar
eventful
pursuits.
Ah,
arrival. That much
I'm
is
guessing.
said.
more or less.
By no fault of your own, I should say.
No,
It is.
Actually, thank you for saying that.
We find kindred
Least in the mind,
spirits
you know,
in the
but,
most
I'm glad
random
that
of
things are going
places.
Yes. We fortunately have not a repeat.
We had a
or
chance to
any
speak to
sort
the town
of
guards.
Remainder.
Very
No.
smart lot.
But they
Highly
seem
disciplined.
very.
Appreciated that. Granted, a lot of that
Well, I was going to call them perhaps a little bit
inside
uptight,
agitation
but
from
Excuse me?
that is another way to
the
put it.
Raiden League.
Oh, pardon?
Well, have their
Well,
way.
to one's uptight is another's
being
ready
driven
for
away,
action. So,
Those who are being influenced
they
by
do
them
all of us a
put their head
service.
between their legs and cowered down rather than continue to agitate.
Palas?
I would like to get to know some of the other.
Yes.
Hmm?
What brings you down here?
I certainly do not want to have to deal with any more of
Simply
that.
making last-minute preparations.
Possible.
An extra copy of the Bible Tyrant. Living.
Well, supposedly the bakery has good cookies.
Indeed, good tea junkers. Good with a spot of tea.
I should try to get you eat today.
Hmm. This Scotty is a enterprising lad as well.
Hey, Kioska.
I do think I should.
Your hero can see the copy of your favorite comic.
Why are you not here, Kioske?
Yes.
What is this comic? I'm not familiar. Hmm?
It's
Yes.
Tales of the Bard series. The principal
of the Bard.
occasionally buys me the comics. He kind of did that whenever I came to, the whole school year. After
Oh, so you're gone already.
rescuing me during the Noah
In which case, never mind that
Shield
question.
Fall event. But yeah, it's basically how I kind of kept my head together, and it was really, it's very comforting.
You were at the that shield fall.
I was one of the only people who got out. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hey, comic!
Indeed.
It's a boring one.
Definitely must take solace in the small things. Ooh, I do like that page.
Yes, they isn't. I just
But
love the
then,
way that
how
they
does
draw
he
the individual
Ooh.
stencils. Yes.
Credits. Oh, credits first.
Talking's always the answer.
Ah, I see. How should I owe
Hmm.
If
Well,
only more people actually
That's
adhere
okay.
to that line of thinking, the number of conflicts you could avoid
Don't drop it
between
in the dirt
fellow
again.
man.
That ruins these things.
A lot less work for me.
Never gonna work again, so I'm sorry.
Sort of my whole
No, you
world
did
in
it.
philosophy.
How about it? Nine.
You know
At least
what,
I
Seven?
tried.
Wow.
A good day.
And that you do.
She's very persuasive. Just gotta say.
Heading hard
Good
back to
morning.
school today.
No.
Hello
Good
again.
you would
afternoon.
impress me, Professor.
I suppose it is
Hello again.
midday now.
6.5 because
Oh,
of the
good
weather.
morning.
Greetings.
You can leave now.
You are simply dressed
Greetings.
to Discounter. Are you perhaps the
Yes.
sister he spoke of?
Would you look at that?
Oh,
That is correct.
Oh, experiment props.
My name is
Make sure you
Bunny
look around,
Bisque.
And there's a little spot on the
Pleasure
front
to meet
that
you,
to apply oil
Miss
to there
Bisque.
every couple of months or so.
It is good to meet you, too.
Oh, ain't you kind?
I let your brother know I'll be taking exactly 3 dozen biscuits
Huh?
every day going forward.
Oh, it's fine. Don't you worry about that.
Understood. We will be hard at work.
A dozen a day.
Plus, they're in business.
That sounds like
All
an
the students.
awful lot of
These educated
carbs.
folk always come through? Like, are they
Oh, thank goodness. I
That
thought you were
many
about to say
students
that you were
checking
going to
it out?
have all for yourself.
No,
We just came here for the
perhaps
orientation.
I overbought. I'm not sure. I'm sure. Perhaps
Well,
I
you
don't
can
know.
always
If they're
distribute a
hurt or
couple
they're
to the
wounded, I can
staff.
offer them a biscuit, and you know,
No, I agree.
healing
It's
as well as
definitely a
physical.
good-
That dog
Morale
has
healing, I should
glasses.
say.
And then they have a sheep.
Actually, for the kids.
Is that a weapon?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
then you
this
definitely
is
overbought.
one of my
It would probably be
arms.
better
At
to...
least the second dozen. The first is for me.
Look.
Anyways,
Okay.
Yes, just be careful with it. It is a bit,
I'm a big lad.
No, I completely understand. I have my comfort foods too. That's why I wasn't gonna judge you with, optimization and whatnot. If you have to have that much for yourself,
I like
don't
how
care.
that is absolutely stabbing the dog with her hind legs.
Although I have a feeling that if
Indeed.
the students don't have it, you will probably.
You know the
take it
glasses
too.
on who? On this guy?
Yeah, there's not enough moving
Of
time.
course, I
right for
shall
that estimation?
share with the other professors.
Been
If,
something
What
that I've
does
had
it
for...
do?
Oh, that
what are you
works.
right on?
Well,
Yes.
it is...
I meant that I
Oh, the dog.
core arms.
eat the second dozen
I
as well.
have the 3 dozen. Oh, no.
Allow me control over the flow.
I'll get sick.
That's my title.
Control over time?
This is
How
quite
does
the...
that work?
It's interesting. This is the
Allowing to
the
locally affect
theoretical
the flow
town
of
square, even though the
time
town square is over
upon an
there.
object or region. Either speeding it up, slowing it down,
I just
or in some
remembered,
cases even
being with my
reversing the flow of
a bit of a
time
bigger
for
man.
object.
And what if there's a tailor in
How
town?
does that work?
I'd have to have
I
some...
heard there was one
I'm
down
sorry,
there.
what was that?
There is a shop with some dresses
Shall we
and
pay them a
such.
visit?
Unfortunately,
Alas, no dress for me. But perhaps fixing one of my boots or sewing a rip.
that's something that can very easily go wrong.
It seems like a
let
thing a
alone
town will
the
have.
idea of traveling through
Well.
time is something that I would strongly
I shall go search for this tailor.
discourage one to think about if they were
I'm gonna quickly grab breakfast and then I'll meet you there. Huh? Yes.
Could I possibly beg to borrow one of the earlier issues of that comic?
Side effects of such a very
Sure. I have a whole collection.
I promise I'll take good care of it.
Oh, I honestly, having someone
If
else
this
to
was a
hyperfixate and
recent
talk about it would be
injury,
really
say,
nice.
within a few days.
Wonderful.
happens and
I shall
that
read a little bit each night, and perhaps we can speak on it.
Because
Okay, now that's just plain overkill. I mean, come on.
Or even critiques.
Hey, Salila, welcome in.
I'm kind of
Thanks for
really
the raid.
into it. I even have like some of the like the
Hello,
really neat
everyone.
stuff from
Welcome. You're going to be
interviews
very
and
confused
things
as to
like
what's
that.
going on here, but that's okay.
Kind of
It's
Wonderful.
roleplay.
I look
It's
forward
the
to
first
learning.
episode. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that Taylor.
If you have any questions, let me know. But if you want to get the hell out of here, because this ain't your cup of tea, completely understand. But welcome in.
Hmm?
Oh, to the tailor, I suppose.
Indeed. Oop, pardon.
So, how'd the Only Sims job work out, Delilah?
Now,
Guessing that's
if
my cue.
I were a tailor
Y'all heading to the
shop,
clothing shop.
Ah, you're the tailor?
what was that? Oh,
I'm the
do you know
tailor,
where the tailor
yes.
shop is?
It's right there. It's the boutique.
Even
So
better.
fucking hope I know where my shop is.
I would love to see your shop.
Here's the course. It's right over here.
It is good to get to know the shop owners. Do we need to refer any of our candidates to you?
So I think the interesting thing so far that I've noticed about this roleplay and how it looks like it's going to function is that there looks like there's going to be a lot of little pockets of stuff going on, right? Like, you've got guard stuff going on there. You got shop stuff going on in the city. You're going to have your, warden/student stuff. You're going to have your professor stuff going on. So it looks like it's actually set up to be a very busy roleplay.
Oh, mere novice.
Jalen got engaged to a lesbian, but she hasn't been getting preggers because of birth control.
I'll be having some new stuff coming tomorrow.
Slyla, what are you doing with your life? Slyla, look at what I'm doing, and I'm asking you what you're doing with your life.
Did you wish to request a boon of you? You see,
Might that be?
my favorite pair of boots. On the way here, they were damaged severely. If I were to bring them around, would you be able to restore them?
I might be able to. If not, I
They're
can
made
get
of
someone
leather.
to. Yeah. Not as experienced with that material, but I can certainly try. And if not, I know someone who can.
Wonderful. And what was your name?
My name's Stitch.
I am
Pleasure to
Reginald.
meet you.
Look, it's clothes for babies.
I'm one of the professors at the...
They got in there, found out afterwards. All right.
Did you require any medicinal care? Let me know.
Okay. I was a combat medic myself, so I think I'm good on that end, but...
I like combat medics.
Mm,
Who all are more practical, less theory.
yeah, certainly. Have to be when you're in the middle of a gunfight.
Indeed. Well, I shall bring...
Let him get married so he can get his inheritance. What?
Perhaps sometime tomorrow.
Alright.
If I have time.
What kind of
I
fucking...
believe there's another customer. But
Alright.
look forward to getting to know you much more.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those shirts. What kind of fucking like Days of Our Lives shit are you producing over this,
As it
Lila?
would so happen, over the in time I will need new wrappings for myself in particular material. Would you be able to do so? I know it is
Oh yeah, of course.
a bit unusual.
Yeah, is there...
Having a relaxing time, Professor. Oh, what's that there?
Seems to be one of the farm animals.
Oh.
Welcome, Dusk.
How are you doing, Baz?
Well, the bones are tired from the journey as always, but everything else is just fine.
Good.
And yourself?
Ready for a new, I'm doing swell. The, several weeks of travel has me weary, likewise, but
Mr. Lancaster,
I'm ready for the year.
Lancaster is a... reassuring person to be around.
Principal seems rather high on this year's
Makes
class.
you feel safe, I'm sure.
It has me both concerned and excited. His prospects. Something different about this year, perhaps.
Well, others seem to think so, but when you've been here for so long, you've seen all kinds, and I do wonder what it is that will set them apart this time around.
Indeed. We shall see.
Did you have anything to do with the choosing of these candidates this time around, or were you on the sidelines?
I was running a few errands for him during the summer, so mostly the sidelines.
No, yes, you were a part of the group that went to, what was that? Runewald?
Runewald, yes. A great deal happened there.
I have read some
discoveries.
reports. And you
Civil
did not
War.
bother to take me.
Well, next time I will be sure to have you take along.
I can still fight, you know. Not that I
I know you
particularly
can.
wish to, but
Your prowess is to be remembered. Oh, but you
Once
should have
upon a
seen it as the ruins that were discovered under the city. Incredible.
Perhaps it would be more comfortable with my...
that Alexei is in town. I must speak to them before they leave. I need to know
Indeed.
details.
Discover what you can, but I assume he will keep some things close to the chest. Till our cities are formally aligned.
Take the journey here.
Old Paz has his ways, don't you worry. Well, how do you like the town?
It is as I remembered. They've moved around the stores a fair bit. It's almost like it is a new square. My bearings are lost.
Yes. Not even speaking about the maze that is the campus. All the time, you turn the wrong corner and suddenly you're in the swimming pool.
Indeed.
Wow. At least it is already lively, and the candidates are not even here yet.
It will be much more livelier upon their arrival. Keen eye will have to watch them. Stay out of the townsfolk's trouble.
There better not be any troublemakers. There are always one or two.
There isn't. There isn't there?
That braggy. He likes to think of himself as so big and mighty now, but back then, he was what I would call a little shit.
Indeed. His ego hasn't faltered.
Well, at least he has become dependable.
Precisely. I feel this will be a learning experience for him just as much as the young ones.
Yes. Yes.
What do you think of Reginald? Our new medic.
He decided to buy 3 dozen cookies for every day.
Bit of a connoisseur.
Well, it was to have them for people to come in and relax when they are receiving treatment. But if you ask me, 3 dozen cookies every day seems a little overkill.
We'll see if he regrets it. That is quite the credits per day.
My,
to the bakery's benefit.
My point in this is perhaps a little bit too excited about certain things at the moment. I certainly hope we don't have so many injuries that requires 3 dozen cookies every day.
I know they can be rambunctious, sparring each other every now and then, but yes, I agree. Let's just hope for not too often of injuries.
But perhaps this is a good thing for you and I. We might find quite a lot of leftover delicious cookies for free.
If you want something tinkered, they're the one to do it.
Indeed.
I really enjoy helping.
Mayhaps, actually.
Regardless, they seem happy to get to work. As does Klink, of course.
They mentioned that they're just passing through.
And myself, well,
They both are
relish at the opportunity to receive more things that warden candidates find out in the field. That is the most exciting things of all for someone like myself.
They both are bursting with energy. I'll give them that.
And what is it that you are looking forward to?
The next brilliant mind. The next famous warden that we will hear tales of on the battlefield. And being the one to teach them would be a pleasure.
Hearing too many losses of wardens these days, you know.
Yes. Things are growing graver by the day.
Perhaps the new excellent group will solve all of our troubles then, yes?
We can hope. If we do our job well, hopefully.
I do hope there will be a few interested in the old world and the way things used to be in this new group. Otherwise, I might become lonely. The lonely old man sitting in his workshop.
History is to be looked back at, and what secrets to be discovered will aid us in the future. I would hope these students of ours realizes that.
Oh, you know, young people, they only care about today. What is the newest fangled thing?
We will leave that to you, Professor, to teach them of the old ways and the importance of history.
Yes, yes. Perhaps I will show them something remarkable. Leave with a good impression. Without revealing too many sensitive things that we have learned along the ways.
Agreed.
I am glad to hear it.
Well, do not let me keep you if you are wandering the town. Of course.
Well, it's the only bit of downtime they're going to have for probably the foreseeable future.
Ah, you wish to have a conversation. Or perhaps it is more like, I wish to have a conversation.
I understand.
I'll leave you two to it.
Perhaps a bit of both. After all, you did seem to have a bit of interest in the events that you were, unfortunately not able to see in person.
Not here, of course. Come on, let's get back to the academy.
I was not proposing that we have such a conversation in the middle of the plaza.
How are you faring, Basil?
As interesting as that would be to do.
I will not be running after these people. This is so exhausting.
Prying gears. Did you know there's a radio station in town?
I did not expect a town of this size to invest in one of those, but I suppose, given that it is effectively a satellite city of, well, Reinhold itself, I suppose that shouldn't be as much of a surprise.
Why don't you believe me?
It's because I... Okay, whatever. Come on, let's go. Not the wisest gentleman here.
Everybody,
Oh.
good to see you.
My point in bringing up the station is, you never know what you say will be on the airwave tomorrow. Gossip and gossip. Oh my, that would be quite terrible.
True indeed. Granted, some of it is so difficult for some to believe that even if they heard it, they would consider it just somebody making up a wild story for the sake of making a headline. Which is fortunate in a degree in that it lessens the amount of overly curious individuals from poking around too much.
Well, I do know that the voices carry in the halls, so perhaps over this way.
Of course.
So long as we find somewhere with enough sightline to see anybody that is walking up, that should
this should
in theory
do.
suffice. Yes.
Well,
so long as there aren't people slinking around nearby the walls, but at that point, if they go into that effort, hopefully there's somebody who's supposed to be over here.
Yes. So, your report mentioned something of entity that you spoke to?
Yes. They refer to themselves as, if I It's been a while since they have spoken up recently, but their name was Igni. They were effectively... what would be the best term? A familiar produced by the central core of the shrine itself. Produced to be the means of interfacing, almost like I would almost say like a living computer with an avatar of sorts.
Was there machinery involved in this? Was it all magic?
The primary mechanisms within that place seem to be of a magic tech far different than the ways that we have produced it in this day and age. That much was certain. It predated the calamity. As the discussions that we had been privy to by... I do not know by what mechanism they were delivered, but all who were present within that structure experienced a shared vision of what could only be said as the past on several occasions, which involved a number of the ones who we believe were originally responsible for the structure's creation, as well as its 5 additional sister structures. The one we found was the first of the series. We believe we know where a second one is. but the remaining 4 are unaccounted for.
We have found in the past small, trinket-like things that also seem to be able to affect minds. But they were all so broken, dilapidated, that any real value
At minimum,
from
they would
them-
be several centuries old at best.
Yes, yes.
But this one was... We do not know the exact age of which it originally was created, but the power behind the core keeping it in operation, or at least in a dormant state up until the accidental activation of it by, well, completely unrelated means, brought it back to life as if it was still functioning. Granted, its ability to operate in the way that it was intended to was inhibited by the fact that it was designed to remain within the planet's structure and not lifted onto a mobile city platform. So its, well, veins that it was supposed to be influencing were severed.
It drew its power from the very earth. Perhaps drawing
Not
power
true.
from crystals?
Infused. It was meant to interface with what were once the vast magical pathways throughout the land. Those pathways that have long since crystallized and turned into the magical ore that we extract and use as a substitute for direct mana. But as those ores are extracted, any effort to try to recreate those pathways that the shrines originally were designed to act upon are all but impossible now. They would have to be artificially remade, and there may not be a way to necessarily do that in the way that the original creators designed them to be.
It would be like asking us to build another engine for another city. Technology long lost.
Indeed. Something that I had in fact asked Igni about, but that seemed to not be a matter that was imparted upon them at the time of their creation. They were created solely for assisting and facilitating with the Regenesis protocol.
Do you happen to have any drawings of the room it was encased in? Any sort of details I might be able to cross-reference against things that we may find in the future?
I may not have some on hand, but the individual who has been joined me to be reassigned to Reinhold and its associates, I believe, took countless notes while we were there, and in fact I believe I saw a rough sketch of the original chamber in which what I have begun to call internally the Genesis core was housed. You may
Very
be able
good.
to inquire with him for a drawing, and if the current one, as it was likely done in a bit of a rush, I imagine they could probably do one better from memory.
Is he leaving with you as well, or is he staying?
No, he will be staying. I will not be.
Fantastic, fantastic. They're so...
Yes, he will be working under Mr. Soliloquy as well as Klink.
Very good.
But he will be, of course, available, and he was present for the entirety of the ordeal that we went through in discovering that place, so he is as much first-hand experience as I. The only thing he does not have direct access to is, of course, the means to communicate with the caretaker of that shrine.
Ah, yes. Why is it that you ended up being the one who interfaced with it, as you put it?
Became the administrator of the shrine. I believe the ultimate decision came down to that those present believed it most wise to be at least a member of the council of that city. And given that I am the head of the researchers there, those that are supposed to delve into these very matters and mysteries that exist within the world, both current and the past, they saw it fit to do so, in my sense. Also, if I remember, I believe part of it came down to is that each of the... what was the term they used for it? Disciples of the one who originally bade them to create these shrines in the first place. They were all different races, and the one who created the Ignis shrine was a human, so it seemed to initially awaken and react to the interfacing of one whose at least general makeup was what he was expecting to see. We had to first make it aware of the fact that it was... well, the time that it was awoken was about several hundred years later than intended.
Was it intelligent then, or how did it communicate?
Yes and no. It spoke. Verbally, as well as being able to telepathically speak to us. But its knowledge seemed to be... its knowledge was dated, but in this case was actually helpful, as it was knowledge that was based upon when it was created. It has been able to show signs that it is able to absorb new knowledge readily, and we had been introducing it to repositories of information from this age and era to help it understand the state of the world that it is in compared to when it was initially created. Although its own prognosis on the matter is that, well, to quote it directly, Eden is lost. At least in the way that it believes that it was designed to operate. That does not mean that it cannot have that store of energy used in a different manner, but I imagine that it will be most effective at, well, creating the potential miracle that we have all been looking for if all cores from each of the shrines were activated in unison, which means that they could need to be found first. Unfortunately, though, there's a good chance that the Maxim Agreement cities are not the only ones who are aware of that fact, given that its discovery was around the same time that there was an attempted takeover attempt by delegates from the Raiden League. And if they have figured out enough about these shrines, they may have heard about it, or at least enough rumors that, well, the sad truth is, the cores that are housed within there could become the ultimate tool to save the world.
The time of day
or
is now
become
evening.
A weapon to become its final doom. And with their priorities the way they are, they'd be very likely to use it as a weapon, thinking that they could control it, or that, well, by having access to it, that they would have anything left to rule over.
Those fools do not know the things that they are messing with. There has been
To be quite direct about the extent of what that core is capable of, it very well, combined with a magic that I have come into possession of around the same time, if they were used in conjunction, could have very easily brought people back to life where they had been effectively rendered into as if they had never existed at all. That is the kind of power that the mages of the past used to be able to wield with, well, no external tools whatsoever.
So many things lost.
That is why I announced that initiative that I did during the titling ceremony back at Reinhold. While I did not, of course, express the exact motivation behind this effort, it is undeniable that a lot of what we could stand to learn in this age does not lie in the future but the past. Not just these shrines of reorigination, but the other skills and techniques lost to time. The engines, magics that we could only scarcely imagine, let alone act upon without the aid of cores. There's a number of things that have been lost to time that could very well still be sitting beneath our very feet.
You know, Alexei, I have been preaching this for 40 years. Nobody really ever considered the implications of such things.
They never thought it was true until they have had physical and tangible proof placed in front of them that they cannot deny. It is one thing to imagine it is another thing to witness it. And a number of your own have seen it firsthand for themselves, just what has been sitting on the very land that we inhabit ever since the calamity and even before it. And only now are they realizing the importance it is that those with the responsible outlook on how it should be used are the ones who find it first and are able to properly wield it, not as a weapon, but as a guide towards a new tomorrow.
I have grown far too old, Alexei. There are times that I had given up, almost given up, thinking that we would find something tangible enough
to spur action.
But we may finally have something. Something that lets us explore the past for a reason. Perhaps I will see the answer yet before I die.
I hope you do. For you to hold that spark alive all this time, it is only fair that you get to be one of the ones to witness it come to fruition, should there be fruits to bear. But I believe there is.
We could only
I've seen
hope
far too much. And who knows? With the way that the rest of the world that stands against us is evolving, the means to witness these things firsthand may be closer than we think. After all, it used to be that the discovery of non-basic elements within the magic of the beasts was a perhaps once-in-a-decade thing. They're fine.
You
That's
are the
one that I
very
actually told you that.
Yes.
The one I was told you that you would want to interface with.
What was your name again? Simone?
Simon, sir.
Simon, yes, Simon. Alexei tells me you have drawings, schematics of the things that you all saw.
I
Within the
always tried to
shrine.
jot down something while we were in there.
I said that you might be able to, perhaps, with enough time, do one a bit more detailed from memory. I know you were moving as quick as you can with what we were coming across.
Right.
But if there is anyone who could do so, you might be the best one to ask in that regard. As one of the ones who was there on every expedition within.
Yes, sir.
Whatever it is that you can remember, machinery, symbols, runes, etchings, plants, whatever it is that you can
This is
find
one of the
in
most
there.
recent ones I was able to get.
Do you think you can make me a
believe that-
copy?
I can certainly try, sir.
Excellent. Bring it down to me by the library. I will use it to cross-reference other things that we have found in the past and may find in the future, Simon.
Yes, sir. I've been hoping
biggest
to
thing has
figure
been
out a few
the
things
fact-
about them myself.
Given that the shrine was within one of the land masses that was brought onto the platform to form Runewald, it was, from what I recall, not originally upon the surface, but the gradual erosion and shifting of the land from the vibrations of the machine as it walked upon the earth eventually made it come to the surface. Which is to say that there's a potential that one of the 4 unaccounted for shrines may very well be in a similar position of being aboard one of the cities without our knowledge, given that such records of their creation also predate Calamity.
Yes,
And
yes.
likely
most
do not even
things-
exist.
Most things we
The-
have found
the
have
other
all
one that
been
we
buried.
know of. The only other one we know of is not upon a city's landmass, but it is also deeply and heavily surrounded by a number of very strong magical beasts. It would need a full-scale operation of a number of skilled wardens to even hope to enter it, let alone secure the contents within. I do not recall if it has been activated yet, but if it has, it is effectively a shining beacon attracting every witch matter beast for miles around, as it infuses untold
Tremendous
amounts of
amounts
mana
of
into the
mana.
ground.
Yes, yes, of course. Of course, the beasts.
With the Ignis Shrine, when it was activated, everything within its immediate vicinity and gradually expanding outward was being heavily suffused with the element of fire. Plants became elemental in nature. Ores that had nothing else in them effectively became almost indistinguishable from fire-aspected magical ore.
Runes
It
even
was
started
a-
appearing on the ground we were walking on.
It was sending out regular pulses of magic where you could visibly see it travel along the ground. That was the strength of which it was able to output. Far away from the
Fascinating.
original source.
We
were lucky that it was centralized within the core of the city, so that it did not make it to the outskirts nearby the edges of the barrier, lest we attracted something akin to a calamity trying to claim it.
Of course, of course. I'm glad you all were unaffected by these pulses and managed to secure the area. It is finding of
Well,
a lifetime for sure.
Unaffected to a degree, but it was those pulses that ultimately led to the malfunction of the systems within the Beast Warrens that necessitated a full removal of it, as at the end of the day it caused a number of rapid, unexpected evolutions to occur that, well, were it not for those present, could have turned far worse. It did, however, give rise to the discovery of the element of time as one of the magical sources that we had yet to discover. Which, given the interests of what we are aiming to discover, very well might have been a blessing in disguise.
Be careful
As
with
being able
such
to...
forces. We do not know why the calamity happens, but if I were to supposit guesses, meddling
well
with
aware
the
of such
essence
things.
of the very fabric of reality.
That's why when I was asked, even pleaded with, to try to make use of it to bring back those that we had lost in that effort, I turned them down, not because I did not want to, but because the inherent risks of reverting something that has, well, all but assured been to happen was unlikely to yield the results that they yearned for. The most that I have ever done with it is being able to accelerate or slow the effects of the passing of time within a localized area, and in rarer cases reverse their effects, but typically I've tried to avoid their use upon people, and I have had a few who have suggested that such ideas as traveling to another time may be possible, but I refuse to entertain such things. There is no telling what sort of domino effect appearing in a time that you are not supposed to be in could have upon the present. So to that hope, I hope that is an element that is not discovered again for a long time, and if it is, that it falls into the hands of one who understands that out of all of the rare elements that we now have confirmation of existence, it is likely one that can be most heavily misused.
I've seen many in pursuit of power, Alexei. Do not fall victim to the same thing.
I've seen it firsthand from an old friend. If it weren't for how drastically they changed themselves after getting hold of that power, I very well still may have been working alongside them.
Perhaps you're wiser than I give you credit for.
I appreciate it. Given the what-ifs, I'm certainly glad to be in this position compared to, well, had I continued my course, I very well could have become one of the warlords of the Raiden League alongside the Primal one. And they do not cease to remind me of that fact when they try to invade. They extended the invitation to me as if I was going to accept it after all these years. I left that city behind for a reason. It was entirely because of his conduct after getting a hold of the primal magics. I dare say that was the day he lost his humanity. What little of it he hadn't left, at least.
I do not care much for the politicking of cities and men. The past is what interests me.
Ultimately, what's going to destroy us isn't going to be the magical beasts, it's going to be the squabbles between fellow men.
That is not inaccurate. Well, thank you for your time, Alexei.
That is... Of course. I dare say if there is any further developments on the search for these remaining shrines, that you will be among those who get informed of it first. Who knows? Perhaps we might get an opportunity to work together on a formal sense, as if there is one that ends up being out there. Should
That
the
would be a dream.
should the wardens of Reinhold, or perhaps if they prove promising enough, this new batch of candidates, if they find themselves in a position where they might have to interface with that, they might very well end up working with me on the regard, as I intend to head this up myself.
I have heard promising candidates over and over and over again. Every time. They have been adequate, but special.
Well,
there have been few and far in between of those.
Well, Vandrus seems very intent on saying that this time he means it with the introduction of this new training regimen that he intends to put them through.
Vandrus
It'll
is a
be interesting to
smart
see
man.
what the legacy of the Beast Studies Department of Runewald has in its ability to prepare them better for the future.
Well, Simon.
After all, if they think that the training regimen is a bit too tough, I suppose they'll just have to file a formal complaint with me at my office back in Runewald. They had me touch up the difficulty, and well, if they're truly feeling bold enough, I included a extra program that if they think there are any that are particularly showing promise beyond those of their peers, that they can put them through their paces. It will either humble them or pleasantly surprise them.
Perhaps. Old Paz will dust off his glove once and put your program through the ringer as well.
I know at the very least a number of the visiting wardens are going to put it through its paces before the candidates get their hands on it, much to the Warden General's dismay, which is why I told him if he didn't want to have to do any work, he shouldn't have made himself known that he was here, because apparently he wasn't supposed to be. It was a surprise visit, unlike mine.
Very good. Well, Vandrus would deal with that.
He already has, and I dare say he will be doing it more. Leading him on by the carrot on a stick of giving him insight of all the new candidates coming in. But yes, if there are any questions about the endeavors that have happened in the past back at Runewald that Simon cannot answer, nor your fellow peers who are present, you are more than welcome to send correspondence to me, and I will be more than happy to answer back at my earliest convenience.
Of course.
After all, I have a direct line of communication available with, well, a number of your fellows here, and I'd be more than happy to hear from one who has a similar vested interest in what I say truly matters in the world.
Yes. Simon, then, if you can bring me copies in the next few days, so I can store them for my own purposes. Don't worry, they will be kept quite safe.
Yes, sir, and I'll see if I can clean anything up among them.
Of course. And we might have some conversations about these theories of yours, too. Thank you very much, Alexei.
Of course. I was glad to have this conversation. Pity you were not able to be there to see it for yourself. Then again, should you ever come and visit the city, it's not like the shrine isn't there anymore. I can certainly reawaken it. The core, however, is located somewhere else for security purposes, but those associated with Reinhold, I'm sure I could bring it out if asked.
Once we are done here in Lindell, perhaps I may have a day or two.
We shall certainly see.
Thank you, Simon. I will happen upon you in the next few days, then.
Yes, sir. Pleasure to be working with you.
Good. Oh my, such exciting times.
The time of day is now night.
Good talk. I'm glad we got to actually have it. I was a little bit worried that people would kind of just, brush Paz off as like he's not an actual professor, right? He's not a warden. Well, he was a warden in the past, but I think it'd be very easy to just like brush the old history
now that's
teacher
just
off,
plain
right?
overkill. I mean, come on.
Hey, Chrissy, hello. Thank you for the raid. Hello, everyone.
I just noticed that it's getting dark outside.
You guys got here like right as we ended our like main conversation. We just had a long, like good conversation, and you guys got here literally like 30 seconds after that ended. The timing is impeccable. Let's see, it's 8:30. We're going for about 2.5 hours, so we probably have a little bit of time left.
Did you need any?
So who is your character? What were they doing, Chrissy?
Yes, it is unfortunate that he wasn't chosen. At the time we had recently, well, it's no point in hiding it now. There was a old structure from before the calamity, not of the similar make, and an old skyscraper, they called it, that we'd encountered. And there were a number of relics that Paz had recovered along with the team. At the time, Paz was making sure all those relics were categorized properly when we sent the team to Runewald, not expecting that there would be such a historical revelation, unfortunately.
Yes. And I should say there has not been any further development about that second one that had been discovered out in the wastes. Unfortunately, no further progress has been made about a way to safely make it there through the hordes of beasts that surround it.
Well, from my
I saw the
understanding,
employee of the
speaking to
tavern.
my
Gotcha. Okay.
counterpart in Argus, it is believed that the scaled tyrant, who subjugation mission was just recently set up, was located somewhat near the region. A secondary objective of that subjugation team is to find any information they can, if any. So far, nothing has come up.
I will have to coordinate with them then, since
I think it's gonna need a raid for PC.
All
All right, no worries, Chrissy. Thanks for the raid. Hope you had fun today.
Associated with the first
Definitely
of
see
those
you around
shrines may
as we
prove
go along.
Useful for gaining entry into the rest. But we
I
are
doubt
still
there's any
looking for
actual
the remaining
intent to go
4.
there. That one being in the middle of the wasteland and surrounded by at least 2 other dens of calamity classes. Not exactly the safest place to go right now.
Never underestimate the desperation of those looking for either way to save themselves or subjugate others. That is the worry I have of leaving it unattended to.
Fortunately for us, say what we will about Raiden, but we've yet to hear of them actually succeeding in a subjugation of a calamity class yet. Once they do, we might start worrying a bit more.
They rely too heavily on, shall we say, single points of failure at this time, which is both beneficial and detrimental. Beneficial
The
in the fact that
over-reliance
it
on the
limits
Warlord and
their...
the Queen of Slaughter is apparent, yes.
But if they are in a place, that place is certainly going to be hurting. But there's only so many places they can be at once. In either case, as I've assured Paz, and I have assured your fellows at the time, should there be any further updates on those matters, you will be sure to hear about them. Lest there might be an actual opportunity to locate one of these structures in a less dangerous means.
Information we receive for going forward may be best directly through Paz, as he would be the best one to manage it.
Process it all. Very well. Then it seems like I will be
Certainly.
in closer conversation with you than originally intended.
Ah, and
Not
that
that
a
I wasn't
pleasure
going
will
to
be
send it
all
to you.
mine.
Yes. But yes, I have a few lingering commitments within town, and I believe I'll be boarding the trains. So if there is any last evaluations or adjustments that you need, now would be the time to request them, lest I be harder to get a hold of from afar.
I think that'll be all for now, but it has been a pleasure truly making your actual acquaintance.
As it has been mine. Being in
Look
the
forward to hearing
same
more of the
room
Reaper of
has
the Time Ways.
hopefully in good ways and not from people encouraging the use of time magic in a way that should never be even considered. You'd be surprised at what people think is appropriate to ask of someone just because they theoretically could. Although I imagine you're no stranger to that yourself, just through a different lens.
There are many who have tried to use the brook to position themselves. It's been fortunate that I've had my own positions established for a long while.
Indeed. With that, if I do not see the rest of you for the remainder of the night, I wish you luck with your new generation. And I hope that you are correct in saying that this one will be indeed unlike any other before. We certainly could use that in the world today.
Indeed. Be safe on your way back to Runeworld.
Safe travels.
Going to miss you, Alexei.
And you as well. You are, of course, more than free to write, Klink. I am always welcoming your correspondence.
That's good. Can I get a hug, though?
Sure.
I'm so happy to see you again, friend. Travel safely, okay?
That is mine intent. So long as the beasts along the way potentially don't have other plans, but if they do, I suppose
I'm sure you'll hold your own.
I was gonna say, I suppose I'll just have to get the scythe dirty.
I mean, it's like you might as well use that super cool, unique core of yours.
That is the intent. Work well with your new fellows, Simon. I hope you enjoy your assignment here as much as you did back home.
Yes, sir.
Right. If there's nothing else you all need of me, I'll be heading to my office to finish the last paperwork before our wardens arrive tomorrow.
Don't work too hard.
Never. Right. All of you have a good rest. We have a big day tomorrow.
You as well, Headmaster. If you get any.
If is good.
If is not good.
You'll be fine. You're stubborn.
This is good.
I too will acclimate myself to the offices. I think they've moved several rooms about. Professors.
Goodbye.
Yourself. Oh, I asked this to others, but what are you most looking forward to in your curriculum? Literally?
I do not teach classes much myself.
Have a curriculum. Merely
Oh.
Are you approaching me or approaching Solari?
Protect the campus.
What was that?
Were you approaching me or were you approaching Solaris?
I mean, that was a general for the room question. I mean, even technically, if you don't have like a proper classroom, you could, take on apprentices and such, yeah?
Well, my expectations are hopefully that Braggy doesn't break too many bones. and spirits combine.
I'll be trying not to.
Professor Carbuncle and Soliloquy.
Hey.
I
believe
I've
repeat the
been
question
able
to
to
you.
ascertain.
Go on.
Oh.
Go on, Alexei. You go on. Go on. You go.
I have ascertained perhaps a design flaw in the way that our townsfolk may get to your workshops to be helped. It's quite the steep incline and the steep decline.
Yes, we realized this, and also there should really be a nurse, like a clinic in the town.
In town.
Not just here.
For our doormaid, yes.
Well, I mean, yes, for mechanics and a clinic for yes, agree. Is that a problem?
Doing one last check through the school.
Yes. Alas.
Go on ahead.
Our poor lass here had to roll down very quick, and I had to catch her. Otherwise, she would have slammed into a flower planter.
I'm gonna go check the general store. Have a good time, everyone.
I feel about just heading that way now.
The question I asked was, what part of your curriculum you're most looking forward to?
I think it's the module on forward operating bases in medicinal capacity, as well as the medicinal care of non-humanoid doll or warforged. A combo class, which I will perhaps will be doing with Soliloquy, I imagine. Or will it be with you?
Most likely. I think Soliloquy. Well, it might be a duo. I'm not sure. Probably
I look
her,
forward
though.
to our combo class, yes.
I do as well.
Wonderful. Alas, we think we were getting this one back to town. Are you... Is that where you'd like to go?
Yes.
Or... Ah. Wonderful.
I should go home.
I plan to head into town, at least for a little bit, and catch the nightlife, as it were.
Oh, come
Not
on,
not in that way, but, conversation and such.
Oh no,
but,
I didn't assume. I mean, like, I'm sure you are a very attractive man. I wouldn't. I mean, you would.
Oh.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh. Well, right back at you. We were getting you back to town. Yes, we shall speak more.
Time for a ship to set sail.
Right. The thing I'm looking forward to most is when you do the introductory classes, and you can see like the cogs turn in their heads.
Care to join us?
About what they, but what they could be, what they could make, and what they could change, what they can become. That is my favorite moment.
Shoot!
Oh no!
They zoom in. And they face planted. It's not even episode 1, I know, right?
The barrier begins to dim, signaling that night will fall in 15 minutes.
Our apparently not very rollerblade-proof campus.
Yeah.
I
have
If it's so concerned. Are you saying that your
No.
campus isn't wheelchair accessible?
That's not good. That's not
That's
good.
it.
for
Fucking
Oh,
come on, let's go.
wheelchair
Come on.
accessible, yes.
Oh, I see.
But if your feet are wheels, then no, alas. Sorry to keep you. You need to go back to your brother.
I do not like journalists.
Thank you for accompanying me.
Gossip,
Have
but
a
there's
good
a lot
night.
of them.
Wait, actually, hold on a second. Why would we need the campus to be wheelchair accessible when we have bionic limb replacements?
Yeah. These people like to complain
Some
about
cases,
everything
they can just
these
be repaired
days.
using,
When I was young, we had to walk upstairs both ways.
And And I mean, technically, it is still wheelchair accessible because you can still wheel up there. It's just the
I think it's just on the way
expectation would be that you would have
down.
brakes. Well, the expectation is to have brakes
that is
for it, you
true.
know? So that's more like a...
This is true.
Maybe I should install brakes into a rollerblade. I think that would help.
Perhaps a new project. I already enjoy the, what do kids say, the vibe of everyone here. I think it's going to be a great candidate season.
I am genuinely curious to see what we actually get. In particular, from like the racial aspects. It's always like
so many different
a brand
cities.
new- Yes,
Wardens
exactly. I mean,
tend
like,
to
this isn't
be
to say that,
quite
like,
varied.
you know- Yes, I know. It's so
Indeed.
exciting. Like this particular. I know I'm not like a doctor or whatever, but I get really excited when specific like biological differences come about from like survival. Again, the place that I came from, I studied animals like every day, so I get really excited.
That's good.
Well, and it must
It's
be
good to be
a
excited about your work.
potential little bit of a problem for you. I hope you are aware of the biology of many different races.
I am
Old
given
Paz
a file
included.
on all of them. No, yes, I'm given much background on the incoming candidates. Alas, I should not share any of it, but... Well, not alas, it's confidential.
Mary
But
synthetic
have no fear. We shall take care of them, no matter their particular circumstances.
Well, I suppose you want to
Should
give them
we-
some new feet.
Yes, well, new feet. I know that they're very specifically against because of the you know, what is that guy doing? Anyway,
Do they belong on the campus?
I don't know them,
crazy how
so
they get
why are
so
they
close to
walking
actual
to
night sky.
Why are they going to the campus?
Not sure.
Why are you?
It seems like that
Well,
should mostly
but
be
see, we're
off
down to
limits.
2 now.
I'm
At
sure
nighttime.
Klink has it handled.
Indeed. Capable individual, Klink.
Well, until they get
Covington.
carried away with their inventions.
It's only natural to be excited about your passions in life.
You
I
may
think
have
the
a
tavern was this? No.
Fixed up in the forge.
Tailor shop.
The inn is
Think
here.
about getting a nightcap. Ah, the one way I did not look. Thank you. Let's see how it's doing.
Have a good night.
Must have shut down early, getting ready for all the students
Yes.
tomorrow. No worries. On
I
that
may
note,
return
perhaps we
another
should,
night.
yes. I'm sure it'll be positively
Simon.
bustling with students.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
It is good to see you. I've seen you around town. I've not gotten a chance to say hello. Reginald Hunsworth. What is your name?
Simon. I was just transferred here from Runewald.
Simon.
Apparently, they will be helping out Klink.
I must say, how do you keep up with that one? They are truly going about 6 directions at once. It's quite impressive.
I only got to know them a few months ago, and I'll be finding out soon.
Wonderful. I'm very excited to get to know everyone working here. We're going to need to work well, considering this new batch of candidates.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Well, seeing as this establishment has actually closed, perhaps we should make our way back up to the dorms. It is getting
Little bit of lag there.
Today's been busy. I haven't had the chance to ask.
I believe I've forgotten. Been a busy day.
Well, I must
Up on
head
campus,
back to
correct?
my office and take care of some paperwork regardless.
Dude, your paperwork the best you can. I wish you nothing but good fortune this evening.
Hmm.
No matter
I
where you
can-
bunked, well, perhaps we should ask a professor.
Right.
So what I got to lose? You seem like a pleasurable individual.
Oh, thank you. You seem very pleasurable too.
You just wink at me?
Did I?
Have a good night, Klink.
Blinking.
It's called blink. I mean, one of her eyes. One of her eyes was closed. The other one was open. What do you want from me?
That is quite funny.
I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
Have a good night, Talus.
Good night, Paz.
Good night, Braggy.
As they all still out there.
A few of them, yes. Klink and Reginald and Talus.
Does anything important of note come up?
No, they are talking to some reporter or something.
A reporter.
Yes. Gossip columnist, more like it.
Oh no.
Well then, let's finish the things for tomorrow. Bam. There we go. All right, well, that was fun. Whee!
Bone cannot jump over a music gate. You two have a good night. You as well.
I'm actually glad we got this session 0 because there's a few. So here's the thing, like, I of course had an idea of, you know, the voice and some basic stuff, but okay, yeah, chat, cool. But it's always like there's a few small things, mannerisms that I started to get in the habit of, where I was like, yeah, oh, okay,
Small
yes,
droning hum
that
can be
feels like
heard
the thing
increasing as the sky above
for this
becomes
guy.
pitch black. The shutdown sequence for the night begins, and it is time to rest. Calling it into this day, in this episode of Eden Lost, we will begin next time with the Warden candidate's arrival in Lindell. Thank you all once again for participating in this session 0. I hope you all have a lovely evening. If you'd like, we will have our OSC area in the train station to decompress after roleplay. Thank you all once again.
Ah.
Turn off my...
Like, what the fuck? Huh? I had a panic because they thought the next words would be the barrier begins to dim and then it shuts down.
What the fuck is in So the single issue.
Oh man.
I realized something, and Shan, we realized something. So Nixie has been asleep at my bed, right?
Good.
And she hasn't made a fucking peep. I think we've hacked it. I think I'm gonna leave her there for tonight.
Stubby little
I
haven't
seen you in fucking forever.
Maybe she won't bark at me.
Who, me?
Java.
Yes.
Put her bed by my door.
I was the green orc.
Come on.
Don't leave me hanging. There we go.
Yeah, we don't want to do it.
How you doing? Yeah, I haven't seen you in forever either.
For now, but like I'm
True.
How's it going? How you doing?
Fine.
Good to see you.
Can't complain.
I'm glad to see fellow faces in here.
Play scheme.
Heck yeah. It's been a while since I've had another like regular thing other than Ascension, so.
True.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm getting to this one.
Oh, the god. I thought he was the god.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're just vibing.
Okay, I didn't know because some people are student avatars.
Mary from on her
Some
merry
people
way.
have shown in the work already, but people were already streaming, so yeah.
Hi.
I'm gonna go wash some dishes.
What's up, Red?
I'll be there.
Okay, see you there.
Good to see you.
Hi. It's great to see you. I hope you enjoyed Mary from On Her Merry Way, Traveling Merchant that I made up today.
Yeah. Good to have you on board. Hopefully you'll get to do something more permanent.
Yeah. I'm sorry I wasn't, I didn't apply earlier. I was told about it like years ago, and then I forgot about it, and then I've only just heard everything came back up again.
No worries. Good. Glad we got more old friends in.
Oh yeah, I love it. So seeing all the old cast and majority of like AA people, all these new people, like I'm really enjoying it. It's really awesome.
It's a good mix of people here, so should be a lot. What I actually? Hey, hello. What's up?
I'm so sorry.
God, they're like bros already. It was like so great. It was like, yeah,
dude, my hands are so fucking like gigantic. It's
your hands are so gangly.
Well, it's meant to be.
They are. My hands are small. Yours are huge.
By the way, Ariana. What if Alexei? I didn't really want to mention it, like in character, out of character, but like so the handshake from this guy legitimately are painful.
Yeah, so he's just there like
yeah. So because like basically these hands are supposed to be able to crush like metal bars.
Yeah.
So if you ever shake hands with this guy,
not bone-crushingly painful because he's old.
Well, he also knows kind of his own strength, so he lets off a little bit, but like it's still gonna be painful.
oh yeah.
Big calloused work with hands. Totally got it.
More or less, yeah. But I mean, just generally, so hobgoblins are known for like their like hand strength, like and known for them being like just weirdly big and like awkward. And so yeah, that's the lore that I'm going.
Is this actually your character for the next episode too?
Yeah. This is my permanent.
Wow, he looks
staff.
really cool. I love him. I think he looks sick. It's been a shame to have this like a one and gone.
Oracle did the whole model. There's a few things that we're still going to be updating, but yeah,
I wouldn't even know.
it was great. Hey, what's up, you sassy, big hip lady?
It looks like she got chicken legs.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, she ain't got no legs.
Oh my god, your legs. Your legs.
What's up, witch?
I ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs. Man, what a different setting this is. Hey,
I've been thinking up as many insults as possible as I can think of for this one to give. Like, your ears are way too small.
Listen, I got floppy ears at least, all right?
I got better floppy ears. Fuck you.
I like my floppy ears. Ah, Simon! You have no idea how much I have to resist and just be like, Simon! Just like started bullying him the same way. I was like, no, different character. We're not doing that anymore.
I saw you as well. I was like, oh, fuck. Kara's not here.
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
I'm making sure that this gobbo starts off without the knowledge that mix exists, because then I don't accidentally heirloom it or something. So she's going to have to find it out in character and then try and bug either Klink or someone else to get the information.
Sounds like good
Because I
times.
can't very well have my character give my own character knowledge that they're going to be using.
Yeah, you don't want to meta yourself that hard.
That's just cheating. That's just cheating.
Yeah. Plus, it's more fun if you like organically discover it, right?
Well, one more source in case to up your chances.
Yeah, well, for now, are you going to be here the whole time or just during like the first bit as this character?
I was transferred over here, so right now I'm Klink's assistant.
Nice.
Yeah, this guy's permanent too.
He got suspension. My leg got suspension. This is my jumping leg. This is my hinge.
Gotta get him to match so you jump twice as high.
Can't really put suspension on a leg with a hinge. It'll just kind of do that. And this isn't a powered hinge or anything, it's literally just a free hinge.
Gotta be something.
Starting off with the crap, you can get cool stuff later.
Yeah, so we're gonna be able. So we have the different versions of the glasses.
Oh damn!
Are the glasses clipping into my forehead?
Yeah, into the brow a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
I've got a similar issue. I shrunk the head, so now this is misaligned. But I can do all the different magnification stuff.
But yeah, we'll be able to move the individual.
I have goggles.
Well, so this is
I
more.
just have the same old goggles and the same old notebook.
What you
This is
drawing?
more or less.
Just looks over your shoulder.
It's just the world's secrets, nothing to worry about.
You want to know? You want to know what this was modeled after? Did you ever watch National Treasure, the movie?
Oh yeah.
You remember how they had those fucking glasses with like the lift things? They have to read the maps. That's like straight up stole that off that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Ben Franklin glasses.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's only noticeable when you really point it out. It's just kind of into the bits above the eyes.
I might just like pull it out a little bit.
I didn't notice the whole day.
I mean, I didn't ever take it off my top of my head. Because this is mostly meant for like examining stuff. I think when we get into the actual like real map, he won't even have it on much because it'll probably be in his workshop most of the time. But here he just doesn't want to leave it laying around.
Also, Simon sent back some coffee mix with the rector.
I also managed to get myself in the fucking board meeting that I shouldn't have been there for, but I was there for it.
Send back is in back to Runewald. Yeah, Kara's going to subsist off of that for a couple weeks. You know how she is with sleeping.
So there's one more toggle that we're going to put in, which I'll keep a little bit of a secret.
I like because when Vol just mentioned that they were having a shading in this meeting, immediately as the general got so excited.
And then, you know, fix a couple of things. But I think the model's pretty good otherwise. You know, Shan, the urge to just be looking at and feel like,
Love you guys.
and you're fucking like, if you remember the last in the miniseries, I was the guy who was just like,
yeah, you were like, what the
fucking fuck are those? I feel like I see it for the first time and I'm just like,
so someone in my chat goes, "Hey Shan, your leg's broken." I was like, "Oh, which one? Which one is for?" And they're like, "Oh shit, okay."
The really fucking hilarious part was when you were in town and like the dog and the sheep were behind you. Your like back legs were literally stabbing both the dogs.
Oh no!
And I was like, I know it's not happening. I know it's not happening, but it looks so fucking funny. Where it's just like, shake the dog.
Shake the dog, shake the lamb.
We're hitting mutton tonight, baby.
All fluff.
It was so cute you guys were having a play date. I was like, oh, my heart, but I'm a little heartless right now, so.
Did you like when we were like sadly parting?
Yeah, I was like,
Full drama.
I mean, it's not really a secret. It's just a little fun thing.
I don't know who's the duck, but I will put a bounty on the duck.
There's a duck?
Yeah, you see the duck? You see it?
Oh. Yeah. Although that looks more like, is that a duck or a goose?
Whoever gets that, I'll put a bounty on it.
We're eating good tonight. We're eating duck and lamb tonight, apparently.
I like how like all four of the boards currently on this map are ball joint.
Put down their one force, and then secondly,
Can you blame us?
like
So
I can only somewhat look at you. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to get
All right. Let's close on up, huh? Well, there you have it. That's episode 0. Hope you guys enjoyed. Should be fun going forward. Gonna be a regular ass thing. You know, once again, as I said, this next week, I really fucking hope I can be here and I don't get fucked by work. But yeah, I really don't want to miss the first day. That would be very unfortunate. So thanks for hanging out, guys, today. Let's see if there is someone to raid on up. I mean, Aniron is probably logging off soon. Maybe. I can just send you to... Well, it looks like Oblivious is doing fun stuff, so let's send you guys to Oblivious. What? Why isn't Oblivious showing up on my rate on my following? Did they leave? No, they're still there. Okay, Twitch. All right. Have fun over at Oblivious's, guys. I will talk to you guys next week. We'll probably do more Stardew Valley streams, most likely. And then we'll see what happens after that. So, have a good one out there, and I will see you guys around next time. Let me end the freaking recording first and send you